Top sports magazine sales from May 2023. Kicking us off with number 10, it is the Great Gretzky. This is Wayne Gretzky's first Sports Illustrated cover from 1981. And we got a CGC 8.0. This is a newsstand copy sold for $1,800 on eBay. So there have been 71 graded newsstand copies of Gretzky's first cover. And this is a pop one of 4 at the 8.0 level. There are 12 copies graded higher. Number 9, 1934. Asahi, don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but this is a Japanese magazine, and we've got the Babe Ruth on the cover. Obviously, it is ungraded, as you can see, but this went for $1,980 on Heritage. Not something that you see every day. So if you're familiar, Babe Ruth led a group of some other American ball players on basically like a Japanese exhibition tour. Went through a bunch of exhibition games through Japan in 1934, I believe, before the actual MLB season began. So pretty cool cover here from right around that time. Number 8, we're going with Time magazine. This is from 1973, and it is Secretariat Super Horse, probably the greatest racehorse of all time, still holds many records, and this went for $2,000 on eBay as a CGC 9.0. So there have only been 10 copies of this Time magazine graded, and as you can see, this is the highest graded copy currently in existence. Number 7, Tiger, 1996 Sports Illustrated. It is the first cover for Tiger Woods. This is a CGC 9.6 and it sold for $2,025 on eBay. Awesome cover. 86 copies graded in newsstand. There are 14 9.6s and there are 10 9.8s. Number 6, it's our old friend here, issue number 1 from 1954 featuring Eddie Matthews, and it is a CGC 9.8. This copy sold for $2,599 on eBay. There have been 637 copies graded, the most frequently graded issue in all of Sports Illustrated, and it is one of 91 9.8s. Number 5, the holy grail of Sports Illustrated covers. This is 1956, Mickey Mantle's very first cover. It's a CGC 6.5, and it is a newsstand. It went for $3,000 on eBay. So this issue has been graded 54 times in newsstand if you're looking at both the regular version and the centerfold variant. And this is one of 5 6.5s. There are 26 copies higher. Number 4, another regular on the countdown, we have LeBron James and his very first cover from 2002 with Sports Illustrated, and this is a CGC 9.8. This one sold for $3,240 on Heritage. This has been graded 287 times, and there are 44 9.8s. Number 3, another copy of the very first SI issue, also at 9.8, and this one went for $3,480 on Heritage. Number 2, again, LeBron James with his first cover, but we've got a twist on this one. This one has been autographed. So you can see it is a CGC 9.6 qualified with the green qualified label. That is because CGC, unfortunately, does not authenticate autographs. They do not recognize previously authenticated autographs. This particular one has been authenticated by PSA. And so instead, what CGC will do is they will give you the green qualified label, and they note on the cover that there's writing on the cover. So this is a legit autograph, like I said, authenticated by PSA, 9.6 by CGC, and it went for $10,200 on Heritage. So pretty interesting here when you look at that 9.8 going in the $3,000 range. And then you add the auto, and it's going for $10,200. That auto is adding a lot of value on this particular issue. But I did put a little asterisk here because this particular sale on Heritage, it also included a game ticket from one of LeBron's high school games. So you definitely have to take that into account when it comes to the price. Now, how much extra value does that ticket stub add? I don't know, maybe 1,000, maybe more. I'm not super knowledgeable on the hobby of collecting game tickets, but you do have to reasonably say that the 10,200 doesn't all come from just the autographed Sports Illustrated issue here. So once again, there have been 287 copies graded of this LeBron James first cover. There are 45 9.6s, two of which are qualified, and there are 44 9.8s. And coming in as the highest selling sports magazine from last month, this is actually one of the top 5 highest selling sports magazines of all time, a very big sale here. This is Hakeem Olajuwon and his very first Sports Illustrated cover from 1986. And look at that, a CGC 9.8. Absolutely incredible for an issue that is coming up on 40 years old, of a Hall of Famer. Oh, by the way, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon is absolutely posterizing the captain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, right here on this cover. You can also see the back of Kurt Rambis's little mop top there. But this is an incredible cover of an all-time great and a CGC 9.8. Absolutely unbelievable. Went for $30,000 in a private sale. I was able to confirm this purchase with both the buyer and the seller, both of whom I know and both of who I spoke with individually. So big time pickup here. There have only been 9 graded copies of Hakeem Olajuwon's first cover, so a pretty difficult one to find in general. But a 9.8, that's just get out of here. That's just insane. It is obviously a pop one of one, none higher. All right, let's take a look at some honorable mentions that just missed out on the list. We have some other really cool ones worth talking about. And so first, we've got this Tiger Woods 1997 golfing magazine, and it has been autographed by Tiger. It has been authenticated by PSA, and this went for $1,700 on eBay. Next up, Michael Jordan on the cover of Time magazine in 1998. This autograph has been authenticated by Upper Deck. It is an ungraded copy, and it went for $1,699 on eBay. Next up, we got another MJ from 1985, Inside Sports, sharing the cover along with another Hall of Famer, Patrick Ewing. And so this this issue has been autographed by MJ, and it has been authenticated by PSA. It is a subscription copy. You can see the mailing label there in the bottom left corner, and it sold for $1,588 on eBay. Next up, I absolutely love this one. This is from 2012. This is a copy of Tennis Magazine, probably the most popular tennis-based publication. And look at this. We've got hands down the 3 greatest tennis players of all time, the 3 greatest male tennis players of all time, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, and Novak Djokovic. And this has been autographed by all 3. That is impressive, and authenticated by JSA, not graded, sold for $1,500. When you think about this, Rafael Nadal is from Spain, Roger Federer is from Switzerland, Novak Djokovic, I believe, is from Serbia. And so you've got these 3 mega international superstars that are from totally different countries, and to have all 3 of their autograph here on the cover, you can't possibly see too many of these, would be my guess. Next up, this is not a sports magazine, but I thought it was super cool, so I wanted to throw it on my honorable mentions. This is Rolling Stone. This is from 1993, and we got Dr. Dre and Snoop Doggy Dogg autographed by both, authenticated by Beckett, and it sold for $1,450 on eBay. Dr. Dre and Snoop Doggy Dogg, One Nation Under a G Thing. Here we got Mickey Mantle. We saw this issue in a 6.5 earlier as a newsstand, which went for $3,000. And here we've got a 6.5 as a subscription with a mailing label, going for $1,500 basically. So pretty much 50% of that sale of the newsstand. Very, very cool magazine right here. 1920. So we're talking over 100 years old. This is Who's Who in Baseball. That is Babe Ruth. This has been ungraded. In fact, it looks like Fido may have been nibbling on the corners of this cover here, but still super awesome. Sold for $1,312.50 on eBay. Okay, here's another Japanese magazine. This one's from 1922. Not even going to try to pronounce that one. And Babe Ruth is featured. So what's interesting about this is that bigger picture is the cover. The smaller picture in the bottom left of Babe, that's a page in the magazine. So Babe is not even on the cover, but the notes on this description on this listing said that this was the first mention or the first appearance of Babe Ruth in a Japanese magazine. Now, who knows how true that is? I have no clue. Obviously, this is over 10 years before he went on his Japanese exhibition tour. So that is pretty interesting. But usually when we're buying these magazines, it's for the beautiful aesthetic of the cover itself. But here's an example where it's just a first appearance or a first mention, I guess, inside the magazine. And it sold for $1,260 on eBay. Love this one right here, 1957 Sport magazine. Wilt Chamberlain. This was before he ever appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated. You can see that he is still in college here, wearing his Kansas jersey, and it's a CGC 8.5, very, very strong grade for a magazine from the 1950s, and it sold for $1,380 on eBay. Okay, so this is actually the very first time out of all of my Sports Magazine Moguls episodes that one of the issues featured belonged to me. This was actually the first magazine I have ever sold on Heritage, and this was a 1984 NBA Today draft guide. You have Hakeem Olajuwon, then known as Akeem Olajuwon, and then you've got Michael Jordan. They're both in their college jerseys with Houston and with North Carolina. This is a CGC 7.5 and it sold for $1,380 on Heritage. So I actually had two copies of this. I've also got a CGC 8.5, and those were the two highest graded copies in the world. If I recall correctly, there have only been 4 copies of this draft guide graded. And so I made the decision to keep my 8.5 and throw this 7.5 up on the market. So yeah, I went for $1,380 on Heritage. More Michael Jordan here, 1984 Sports Illustrated. This is his first pro cover with the Chicago Bulls. It is a subscription issue, as you can see the mailing label, but it graded very high at a CGC 9.0, and it went for $1,380 on Heritage. MJ again, 1995. Looks like I threw an extra 9 in there. My apologies. But this is from 1995, and it's Michael Jordan. It's the I'm Back issue. You can see him wearing the number 45 jersey. You can see Hall of Famer Reggie Miller there in the background, and it's a CGC 9.8. Any Michael Jordan 9.8 is going to have some serious value, and this one went for $1,380 on Heritage. And again, it's our Super Horse Secretariat. We already saw this one earlier. We saw the 9.0, which was the highest graded copy. And coming in just one tier below, we've got an 8.5 selling for $1,200 on eBay. Very famous issue here. We've got Dean Smith along with his starters from North Carolina in 1981. You've got James Worthy, you've got Sam Perkins. Can't remember. I know you got a Doherty and then maybe like Jimmy Black. I can't remember his name exactly off the top of my head. But the thing with this one is I believe it's Dean Smith's first cover, but this was also supposed to be Michael Jordan's first cover. Michael Jordan was projected to be a starter for North Carolina, and this was kind of the preseason college basketball issue. And Sports Illustrated wanted the 5 starters on the cover along with Dean Smith. Dean Smith wouldn't let Michael Jordan be on the cover because he had a rule that freshmen were not allowed to talk to the media until after they had played their first game. And so Michael Jordan had already at this point kind of slotted. He was already slotted to be the 5th starter, but and Sports Illustrated begged and begged Coach Smith to put him on the cover because they thought it was going to look really awkward with only 4 guys on the cover. But Coach Smith did not back down, and MJ did not get on this cover, so he had to wait until the following season college basketball preview cover, which he was on along with Sam Perkins, who's on this one too. And of course, later this season, we know Michael went on to hit the game-winning jump shot in the NCAA championship. So, very cool story behind this, and like I said, it's a pretty famous cover. So this is an 8.5. Oh, I take that back. I've got that typed in wrong. This is a 9.2, and this sold for $1,200 on eBay. Another Wilt Chamberlain. This is from 1962, Sport Magazine, and this is autographed, authenticated by JSA. Wilt passed away quite some time ago. I want to say in the late 90s. So, his autograph is not as easy to come by as some other athletes who lived and stuck around for many, many years signing autographs. So, pretty cool to have a Wilt the Still auto on a nice newsstand copy of a sports magazine here. This has been authenticated by JSA, sold for $1,150 on eBay. And so here was the issue I was talking about. This is Michael Jordan's first cover. This is from 1983, so it was actually 2 seasons later. And sharing the cover there with Sam Perkins. And this is CGC 8.5. This is a subscription copy that had the label removed. This actually was mine also. I sold this one. This was one that I had purchased raw, thought that it was a newsstand based on the pictures, got it in my hands, realized that a label had been removed, but it was in pretty nice condition, so I decided to go ahead and send it in anyway. And I don't collect subscription issues. I already have this issue in several newsstand copies, so I figured I'd go ahead and put it up for sale, and put it in an auction starting at 99 cents, running for 10 days, and it ended up at $1,025. So yeah, pretty cool sale here of Michael Jordan's first cover. And look at that. After 10 episodes of Magazine Moguls never having my own issue, all of a sudden I had 2 appear on this month's episode. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. And until the next video, see you next time.